Welcome to the Impactful Engineer Project. I'm Steve Maxey, and with my co-host and brother Jake, we are here to bring you guidance, fresh ideas, and the tools to help you become an impactful engineer.
All right, I got another impactful message to bring, Steve.
Uh-oh. I'm scared.
Yep. Don't be. What I've been thinking about right the instant before we came on was how quick decisions can help us, of course, in our career. It can help us get to a result that we want faster. It can provide us with varied perspectives and thoughts on things because we're not holding things back and contemplating forever within ourselves, so we can make those decisions to move the thing forward with multiple people helping us do it. I think it gets us to our failure points quicker, which ultimately will tell us what not to do. There's a whole conversation between there's decisions where there's no turning back. You probably don't want to make those real quick, but for everything else, I think overall quick decisions and fast conversations between what the trade-offs are of moving quick or fast decision or getting to the conversation quickly about what do we do about this and we need to act now. In general, urgency, moving quick is going to be highly beneficial for our careers. We've done talks on urgency before, but what I want to talk about is how do we do the urgency and who do we include in our path to increase our urgency. And so one example would be, who are we going to call, and should we call them or should we email them? Stuff like this. I want to give tactical solutions today, but also reinforce the importance of quick decision making. And what I would set the stage with is, after all that talking, is let's go project based and let's go dollars, because people think about dollars. And most project dollars aren't lost in big, huge mistakes. They're lost in slow decision making. And I want to peel that apart. That's what I want to do today. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
The immediate... You clearly have nothing to say on this, Steve. Surprise! That's okay, because I have plenty to say, and I think it's going to be great, and you can add in there.
I will.
So one of the things I noticed the most when I was a career engineer, is that what you call it? Is we would sit on critical path items way longer than we needed to, because we were worried about kicking things off too early maybe, or we didn't really know the complete answer. So why involve somebody else if we don't have our shit together first? And then we would fall back on the things that we knew how to do that were easier and that we could tackle now, because we felt like that was the best use of our time. Because we were always told, or at least I was always told, high utilization equals good, which means you're working on only billable things all the time. And if I was trying to, and we had a really tight budget, right? Don't blow the budget. And if I was trying to anticipate how do I execute on this project and make decisions quickly, that inherently I wasn't doing the steps and doing all the things I knew how to do really quick right away. So what I would say is, if you're one of those people that is in that zone right now, that you just kind of default to doing the things you know how to do for days at a time, and then thinking, oh, well, once we get far enough along or we figure this out, then I can approach my vendor, or then I can approach the utility, or then I can approach and ask the questions of the owner or various stakeholders, when it's highly beneficial to put together a roadmap of these are all the things that if we started today would take 4 weeks or longer to accomplish. And in fact, half of that time is literally just waiting for a response from the time you send an email or the time you ask a question. And instead of having all the answers and then asking the question and then burning the lead time on top of that for a response, because you got to get in the queue with somebody. So how this ties into fast decision making is you can call somebody. There's always somebody to call. There's always someone to talk to about the trade-offs between making the decision now and what are the pros and cons behind making the decision now. How do we estimate things? How do we increase the speed at which we make these decisions? So for me, it was like, okay, we know that if we establish the work order for the utility, submit the utility's requirements, they do a design review, and then they get back to us. That's at least a 6-week process. But if we're going to submit the work order, it's got to have these things. It's got to have a load letter, and you've got to have all these drawings, and you got to have all these decisions made. So we can't start that until we're like almost done with the project when we know, quote unquote, everything, right? And we feel precise enough. And I think that gets in the way of a lot of success because of the sheer timelines. So like developers say it's like a multifamily project, they have a timeline at which things need to happen, and they actually do have a burn rate per week that they can identify, or per month, that for every month that this project isn't done and occupied and people are paying rent, that's a cost, right? And so if you can make quicker decisions that take multiple weeks off the schedule, you are actually increasing your value to that customer.
Yeah.
Whether they can identify you or not as being part of that value. So that, I think, right there is a great reason to consider, how do I increase the speed of my decision making?
Yeah. Okay. Can I jump in?
Yes.
Okay.
Holy hell. That was
no,
a lot.
I wanted you to just kind of like lay it all out first, rather than me jumping in and breaking it up. So here are my thoughts. And to layer on top of that, there's 2 things that are going to prepare you to be a quick decision maker. One is the obvious one, and that's experience, right? But and a massive amount of it. But we're not really talking to those folks right now, right? So let's talk to the people who don't have as much experience. They may have a little bit, but they could also be brand new, and that's going to be preparation. And then so how do you do massive preparation, right? It's, well, you learn the entire, like what the scope of the process is of the timeline of whatever project you're working on, right? Whether you're doing product development or engineering services for, the MEP industry or whatever. You have to go to those experienced engineers that you work with, or the partners that you're working with, and they know, because they're experienced, what a project looks like, and so they will have the bones of what your standard timelines are going to be, what they look like, and what has to happen when. And so you're going to be able to take that, unpack it, and be like, okay, I know this takes 6 weeks, so I need to get ahead of that for this to impact this, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You just go down the line, and you'll be able to set milestones for yourself, and not just milestones for the finish, but milestones for the start of things. And so you can plan, and you can anticipate when things need to happen, plan for those, and operate to like a front end type schedule, right? Where you're always okay, when do I start a task? So that way I know it's going to be with a margin of error, it's going to be done in time for this next thing that's going to rely on it, right? And so it's massive preparation at the start of a project, or even before it starts. So that way you know exactly how to operate throughout the timeline. And you also have to think about contingencies. Okay, what if this thing doesn't work? Okay, do I need to do a redesign? Do I need to source different components for it? Well, let's go ahead and get ahead of that. Let's do some testing before that, and to prove that works. And set these countermeasures in place ahead of time, so that way you can rely on those to make the decisions for you.
Yes. That's very good. Now just you got to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And how do you learn how to do that? Well, you can talk to people who have the experience, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, my fellow impactful engineers. If there's one thing that you could do to help out this community, it's to keep listening to the podcast, but also if you found value in it, to share it with one person, give us a 5-star review, or even leave a text review. It'll only take a few seconds of your time. Find that person that you think could enjoy some of this or learn from it, and pass on the good word. Now back to the show.
Yeah.
Here's a couple things, because I like to come from the angle like almost all the time of like what gets in our way of doing this. Because I've peeled back the layers with a lot of like direct reports and myself behind the like not psychology behind it, but like the mindset. So the two biggest ones that I've seen, one of them is just like the fear around being seen as like wrong or always having to change your mind, or like they for some reason we think that we have to make every decision and it's just 100% correct, and it was the right decision every time and in order, and I never had to pivot, and that's success, right? Which that'd be great if we were never wrong, but sometimes pivoting from one decision to the next, moving quickly, changing your direction because you found new information, I feel like people look at it the wrong way too often. Like, oh, well, if you have to change direction or modify or go back on something for a split second, then there was something wrong with the path that got you there, when that is complete horseshit in my mind.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you got an
I'd like to
of this.
I'd like to reframe that a little bit.
Please.
Okay. So I love coming up with ideas, right? That's like one of my favorite things about the industry that I'm in. And I had to learn how to detach my ego from giving ideas, right? So I no longer care if my ideas are A, used or not, or B, are good or not. I just want to get ideas out there, because what I've seen is that we can get to the right answer faster if I give a wrong answer first.
Yes.
Right. Like, and then this is like, was mind blowing when I figured this out. Now, and if you ask anyone that I work with now, they chuckle, because I just love spitballing ideas now. And I'll just like, what do you think about this? This could work. And then they're like, no, it can't. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, what do you think? And then they'll take that and they'll go, oh, but if we did this to that idea, this could work really well. I'm like, all right, great. And so if you detach your ego completely and you just try to make a decision just to get things rolling, produce an idea, then other people can take that and then find the value in that idea to either pivot and go somewhere else or build off of it. And that's how you can get to point C from point A a lot faster, by giving a point B that is a little off path, but that's okay. Because now you're closer to point C than you were than just trying to figure out all the way to the right answer. And then I've seen so many times that a fantastic idea has been derived from a terrible idea. And so if that terrible idea was never given in the first place, then that fantastic idea could have never happened.
Yeah. No, dude, 100% agree. I wish everybody would be more willing to just go out, take immediate action, and just follow the turns that come, man.
Yeah.
And you'll see the patterns, and you'll get really good at it, and your decision accuracy will get better and better, and you'll take the right turn at the right time much more quickly and more often. Like, it could come from anything. Like, oh, let's get the load list out right away. Well, it's like, oh, well, we don't even like slow down, Jake. We don't even know what the mechanical systems are. And it's like, oh yeah, we don't. And I'm in the next 5 minutes on the phone with the mechanical guy going, what do you think about this project? Which technology are we going to use? What is the energy code saying that we have to design around? Is it all this? Is it all that? Is it on the roof? Is it underground? Is it outside on grade? Is it a freaking tower 5 miles away? What is it? What are we doing for the heating and cooling? What are we doing for this? Oh, I was thinking this and this because of this and that. And then you start narrowing it down when if we hadn't forced the issue of like, this is a critical path item, let's do it now, the Jake way. And then I receive all this pushback on it, but all that pushback gives me data,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh, we haven't seen this or this or this. It's like, great. You've just inadvertently given me my attack list for the next week. And so I just go clear all that out. Oh, now we can do this, right? Oh, you've got all those answers already? Yeah, because thing's going to take 6 weeks. We need to do it now. Shouldn't be working on populating a floor plan with some receptacles. We should be working on this thing that's going to take forever, and then it's, but you get all this pushback like, man, why are they doing that now? They could do this, or this is a SD set. We should ignore this until the day before it's due and then just pump something out. That's how consultants do it. It's like, no, we should be involved and pulling the future towards us as much as possible. And just getting rid of your fear of being wrong. And then, like you said, just throwing shit ideas out there and just getting the ball rolling is the best way to, in my mind, to do that. So I highly encourage people, to be able to admit that you don't have the right answer every single freaking time, that you don't be fearful of the other people's opinion of you because you don't say the right freaking thing every single time you speak, and that you are more focused on the results than your ego. And I think volume of decisions made is better than the best decision at the very end. I highly believe that. I think one person waiting forever to make the best decision versus 10 people throwing out ideas and making a bunch of decisions, you have much more data to work with and much more refinement happens at that time. So I will be done with, preaching to everybody. Hope that helps.
And I think it is so much fun not having to worry about being right and just throwing crazy ideas out. It gets exciting.
It
right?
leads to a lot of fun stuff, dude.
It is so fun. I love just sitting around in a group and just going, oh, what if we did this? And they're like, oh my gosh, that is ridiculous. Why would we ever do that? I'm like, oh, okay.
I was having a conversation with someone recently, and it was a marketing conversation. And what if we just took our wireless go-to mics and we put it on a little microphone thing attachment, and we walked around this trade show and just asked people interesting questions about what they do and the things we know they're going to love to talk about. What if we did that?
Yeah.
That sounds cool. And then we start talking about, well, how do we do it? How do we implement it? What are the right questions to ask? And then we say, okay, what's the policy of the event holders, and what are they going to think about it? And how do we get ahead of that? Oh, we can get ahead of that there. Okay. Let's do these things. You take this action item. Okay. Do we like ask them if they've worked with us before and then try to get some sort of response out of that? Do we just ask them about their day? Do we ask them about their dog? Do we ask them about what was the biggest challenge you faced in the last project you did when there was a vendor that didn't show up on time or produce something? What do you think is the best way to build culture and brand for your company? Like, do we ask them that stuff? Like, and then we just threw all these ideas around and got somewhat of a semi plan together, and we're working on it, and it wasn't perfect. And it's just like, decide. Are you in? Yeah. Yes. How do we do it? I got this mic sitting here on my desk. We'll use it somehow. Okay, great. Done. What do we do next? Okay. What day's the thing? Okay, be there. How do we do, and you just make the decision and you go. That's what I like doing. Leads me to being some sort of quasi interviewer dude running around a big trade show that there's going to be a lot of exposure for everyone. And as far as work goes, and it'll be fun. It'll be a great experience. Like, I did this little interview thing, ran around and asked people questions.
And you know what? People love talking about what they're up to and what they're doing, Yeah.
And that's the whole purpose of the thing, right?
Yeah. So you're going to get so much gold information, and you can get some really cool nuggets that we can just talk about for days, and because people love talking about whatever they're working on.
Yeah. Get rid of the fear.
Yep.
What was the other one? Oh, this is a good one. I'm like a huge fan of short communication loops. The power of the follow-up too comes into this.
Yeah.
Somebody could look at something the day before and it's like, and they file it away because they just weren't into it. And then you follow up and they go, oh, I got the perfect answer for this today. And if you just let it sit, it never would have been answered, right? And then you got to ask again, and weeks later. Short communication loops are so powerful. I think there's a big tool in the bag of tools to make faster decisions. All right. So stick this one in your toolkit. Pick up the damn phone, dude. Call people.
Yeah.
Right.
You're walk over to their desk.
Walk over to the desk.
If they're inside the company.
Ask them. The email. Get away from emails. Emails are like records of information decided. Like, hey guys, we're going to meet this day. And
it's a recap.
Goodbye. See you then.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a recap of decisions made. You start thinking about emails that way, and you'll stop using them for asking all of the pertinent questions to everything. There's a place for it. Yeah. Push back on me. That's great. But I would say more so, go get answers and then follow up with email.
So I got a little hack for this.
Okay.
Right. I love just talking to people in person, like not even calling them. Like, I'd rather walk over to their office or their desk or cubicle or whatever and just having a conversation. And my hack is, when you're having trouble finding the words that you want to say, or or figuring out the best way to approach a topic, when you walk, like the physical action of walking helps you process information much faster and more creative than you sitting in a chair. And so just by you walking across the building to someone's office, you will be able to formulate how you're going to have your conversation in that moment. And it'll be way more effective than if you were just sitting behind your desk and typing up an email or giving them a Teams call. So just get up and move, and your brain will thank you.
I usually answer my own questions when I do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you turn around and walk back.
Yeah, exactly.
I've done that so many times. And then people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, just going for a walk.
Yep. Got to stretch my legs.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, there's no other way to really say it. Just communicate often and quickly and get answers. And if, I'm so big on just like improving mindset. If you get a bunch of negative feedback or pushback or whatever on how much you ask questions and stuff like that, like make that the thing about how do I shorten or get rid of how do I get rid of the mistakes, quote unquote, according to them, and how do I improve my operation of short communication loop so that I get less of the pushback. Like, make that the thing you're thinking about, not getting stuck on whether you should do it in the first place.
Yeah.
Like make it something else,
Yeah. And another thing is I've heard a lot of people like, oh, that's foo-foo shit. That doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. How do you know? Have you tried it?
Yeah,
right.
Because they're the masters of it already.
Yeah, exactly. But just like when you want to test something to prove something out, like in the engineering space, you can do that with anything we're talking about. So take a concept from any episode that we've ever launched and just try it and try it over the course of a couple weeks, and you'll just see the results for yourself.
And put some effort and give it a shot so that you can distinguish between pushback and people preferring to work in a certain way, right? Or they don't think it's the way that it's supposed to be done. Take your time to analyze the reactions you're getting, instead of, once you have one negative reaction, see it doesn't work. This is my proof, because the other person doesn't prefer to do it that way, or is stuck in their own mindset that's limiting them, and they push back on you, and then you go, see, it doesn't work. Yep, Jake, Steve, full of shit. And then you stop. Like, try to give it a good shot and distinguish between the bucket of, they're responding in that way because they don't know how else to respond. And it makes them feel the best that they can feel in the moment to give you this thing that they're going to say to you, because that's them trying to feel better for themselves in that moment. It's not about you're doing something wrong. Most of the time it's not. It's about them trying to make themselves feel better. Why are you asking me this? Why would you do that? That's too fast. No, you shouldn't make that decision now, because I wouldn't make that decision now. because I'm afraid of what would happen, because I think it would make me look stupid. So I can almost guarantee you it's more about them than anything that has to do with what you're doing. So give it a shot. Don't misinterpret the responses that you get.
Yep.
All right.
Anything else?
Pick a critical path item this week that you can move forward before you have all of the details, and see where that gets you. Compare it to the last time or the norm, and see if you improved that. And then stop typing a long email, delete everything, delete the draft, and then call the person you're about to send the email to. Do those 2 things this week and see what happens.
Yeah, and just keep emails to meeting recaps and summaries of decisions made, and that's it. That's what emails are good for. So
when you know the answer already and you're sending it to get a record of like a reply, and you wait, and you could have just done the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe tweaked it because their reply did have some good stuff in it. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. I've already built this entire electrical room, laid out all the equipment, and I got my quote back, and it came back 4 inches deeper. Okay, great. Done. Instead of waiting and waiting and waiting. Stop waiting.
I think the only time you have to wait for a response is when you need to get like an approval for something, right? But that's different. Yeah.
That's different.
Yep. All right. So do those things. And if you find success in it, or even if you think you find that we're just completely full of shit, leave a comment and give us a rating, and share this episode, because we know you're not going to find out that we're full of shit. You're going to find out that what we speak is the truth. So share this episode with your friends and colleagues. It is the best way we can grow the podcast and continue to create value and impact for the engineering community.